Why are kitchen worktops killing people?
They didn't hold back, they literally told me that it could potentially kill you. And it's just, well, what's going on?
It just beats you down and beats you down every time you go back to the specialist. Hey, guess what? The news is worse. By the way, there's no treatment.
You might have quartz worktops like these in your own kitchen, but did you know they're causing a deadly disease that's taking the lives of young workers?
I'm absolutely sure there are people who have silicosis who are unaware that they have it walking around the UK at the moment.
So is this the new asbestos, and how do we stop it?
The UK needs to ban this product. It's like, sorry.
We don't get a grip of this condition, we'll see another national scandal like we saw in asbestos.
On home renovation accounts on social media, quartz worktops are everywhere.
So our gorgeous worktops are white Carrara quartz.
They've exploded in popularity, offering luxury on a budget, giving the look of stone like granite or marble, but often for a fraction of the cost.
We asked about quartz worktops and explained our budget.
But behind these glitzy makeovers is a hidden shame. People who work behind the scenes, cutting and polishing them to install in your kitchen, are dying. Some as young as their 20s, struck down by silicosis, a deadly disease for which there is no cure.
It's not knowing. Anxiety, stress, just the unknown. It's just, well, what's going on? Is it going to progress? Is it going to get worse?
Ryan Fenton is one of those workers. He lost not only his career, but could also lose his life. A stoneworker for 30 years, when his company started cutting quartz worktops, he knew something was different.
Dust just is finer, a lot finer. It has a smell to it, has a taste to it. Should you get it in your throat, it's different. It is different.
Ryan found out he had silicosis completely by chance. Every time he went to work, he'd been breathing in more dust that was silently destroying his lungs without him even knowing.
3 years ago, I had a stroke. I ended up in hospital. They run a load of testing before they were going to send me home, and part of it flagged up that I had some shadowing on my chest, and that's when I was diagnosed with silicosis.
Did you know at the time what that was and what that meant?
I had no idea what it was. I'd never heard of it before, even though I'd been doing masonry for more years than I can remember. I'd never heard of it. They didn't hold back. They literally told me that it could potentially kill you. When I saw it in black and white, they wrote to me, and that's when it hit home.
Ryan is one of around 50 UK workers diagnosed with accelerated silicosis in the past few years. 4 have already died, including Marek Marczek, father of 3 from London. By the time his silicosis was discovered, he was too unwell to go through a life-saving operation and died in his hospital bed, struggling to breathe. So why is this happening? And why do experts fear this could be just the beginning? There's a reason these kind of worktops are causing silicosis. Engineered stone, often known as quartz, is a modern worktop material that's made by crushing up stone and binding it together with resin. It's not dangerous once it's installed, but the cutting process releases high levels of a dust called respirable crystalline silica, and breathing that in can cause serious and permanent lung damage. Cases have already started exploding in countries around the world. An outbreak in California has seen more than 540 diagnoses and 30 deaths. In Australia, by 2022, there were at least 579 confirmed cases, while Spain's health ministry said quartz was a major driver behind 2,800 cases in the stone industry.
From today, Australia will enact a world-first ban on stone bench tops in a bid to protect.
After cases and deaths continued to rise, in 2024, Australia became the first country in the world to ban engineered stone. The ban was passed after relentless campaigning from tradesmen like Hyle Goodwin.
I suffer from fatigue quite badly. I cough a lot. Every morning when I wake up, I am short of breath.
After being forced to give up his career as a tradesman because of silicosis, he now lives out his days on a vineyard in Queensland, knowing he's on borrowed time. In 2018, he was only given 8 years to live.
It just beats you down and beats you down every time you go back to the specialist. Hey, guess what? The news is worse. By the way, there's no treatment. It's a really hard hole to climb out of after being told that every few months. And I found myself, depressed, drinking a lot. There was a point where taking my own life felt like an option. It just goes to show you just how helpless you feel after being told something is not only preventable but is going to kill you as a young man.
Kyle and his wife Sarah now watch on with horror as other countries like the UK continue to use the material.
It's already taken the lives of some young men, and it will continue to take more and more lives. And sadly, all of these lives could have been saved by banning this product earlier. This is a dangerous product that should be banned in every country on the planet. This is a product that will kill young men and women.
100%. The UK needs to ban this product. It's like, sorry. It's awful to watch the people that get diagnosed, what they're going through. Like, if it's a preventable disease, it shouldn't, the product shouldn't be allowed to be used. If you can save lives by banning a product that's not even necessary, it's a no-brainer.
It was in 2024, the same year as the Australian ban, that doctors realised engineered stone silicosis had taken hold in the UK. Dr. Joanna Feary was one of them.
So this is a chest x-ray of a patient who has silicosis. So what you can see is tiny little dots all over the lungs, right from the top down to the bottom.
So it's basically like scarring of the lung.
Exactly that.
She led the team that analysed the first handful of cases and made the link to quartz worktops.
We have watched the problem unfold around the globe, and so we've known that it may well arrive in the UK, and we're seeing a high number of cases of accelerated disease, which means that it's happening after a very few years of working with the product, and it means it's affecting a young workforce, so people in their 20s, 30s and 40s. This is a huge worry because these are young people developing what is essentially a preventable disease.
How widespread do you think that this could be compared to what you've seen?
We really don't know how many cases we're going to see in the UK. It is a concern that we will see the same sorts of numbers unfolding as has been seen in other countries. I'm absolutely sure there are people who have silicosis who are unaware that they have it walking around the UK at the moment. There are absolutely parallels between asbestos-related lung disease and silicosis.
Breathable silica has already been recognised as the biggest risk to construction workers after asbestos. It was in the 1960s that asbestos was clearly linked to lung cancer, but it wasn't fully banned in the UK until 1999. To this day, there are still around 5,000 asbestos-related deaths every year, mostly from exposure decades earlier. Doctors now working with silicosis say that without immediate change, this outbreak could eventually follow the same path. In the US, hundreds of doctors pushing for a ban on engineered stone have signed a letter saying it's not possible to work with it safely, while all the big construction unions in the UK told us they want to see it banned. But Britain's workplace safety regulator, the Health and Safety Executive, told us it's done extensive scientific research into the dangers, and there are existing well-known controls that do prevent exposure. The worktop industry is also pushing back.
We're using misting system here. This will keep all the dust low.
At Granite House in Preston, they've invested thousands into safety equipment to prevent silicosis in their staff who work with quartz.
So you can see we've got pipe running through that'll feed fresh water into his polishing machine. So anytime you're doing any sort of polishing, they'll basically suppress any dust. So it's constantly wet, no dust is coming up. These guys have got masks, so they won't inhale anything. They're all face fit tested, so it's all a perfect seal for our guys. The testing machine, the Trollocs machine, that'll be live testing for our people.
There are some people who are calling for a ban on engineered stone completely.
And as long as you keep the levels low and all your staff are protected, if all got masks, if all correct PPE, they should never be in contact with any dust, so there's nothing to worry about.
Nigel Fletcher leads the Worktop Fabricators Federation that represents over 100 worktop companies.
The membership has to commit to having health surveillance for the staff. So every year they're putting through a health check, and we want to stay ahead.
Australia became the first country to ban engineered stone outright a couple of years ago. I mean, they spent a lot of time looking at this and ultimately came to the conclusion that there is just no safe level of breathable silica, that this material just can't be worked with safely. What would you say to that?
I won't comment just for Australia. Their decision we don't see necessary in the UK. It is controllable with the right control measures.
As yet, silicosis hasn't been discussed in the UK Parliament.
If we don't get a grip of this condition, we'll see another national scandal like we saw in asbestos.
As a former miner, Blythe MP Ian Lavery has seen the damage silicosis can do. He's pushing for a Commons debate on this new outbreak.
But I'm going to be very persistent until we get this under the floor of the House of Commons. The eventual outcome could mean looking at an outright ban. But again, the most important thing is we need to effect measures that are going to prevent ordinary young people and their families suffering this awful, awful condition. We've got the opportunity to clamp down on it. That's the thing. It's not too late, but it might be too late in the very near future.
As silicosis cases continue to grow, there is little agreement on how to stop it. On one side, victims who say banning engineered stone is the only way forward.
It could save lives, absolutely. There's no awareness of how big it has become.
You are stealing fathers from families and husbands from wives by delaying this conversation in the UK.
Well, industry and regulators say taking it off the shelves is not the answer.
The breathing in of silica dust does a lot of harm to the lungs. It destroys them, but with the right control measures, it's preventable.
What is clear is that there will be more deaths.
We should not be seeing diseases which are ostensibly preventable in people in their 20s and 30s and 40s in 2026.
The question now is how far will this crisis go?